What's up, guys? It's me, Daniel, with VintageMagic.com. Welcome back to another video. So today's conversation is about the 2018 Channel Fireball events posting in regards to floor traders and their stricter policy of this for 2018. And those of you, this has been going on actually for a while. There's been actually a Facebook thread that's pretty massive where the question was posed: is this policy good for the Magic community? And in fact, this poll is quite intriguing. Almost 1,200 people have said, I'm a player who trades sometimes, this is a bad idea. That's a lot of people. Another 417 people said, I'm a player who rarely trades, this is a bad idea. 248 people said, I'm a player who trades sometimes, this is a good idea. 88 people said, I'm a player who rarely trades, this is a good idea. 47 people said, I'm a floor trader, this is a bad idea. This is the most intriguing ones, and probably the most important, is I'm a vendor who pays for booths, this is a bad idea. 21 vendors said that. Another 7 people said, I'm a floor trader, this is a good idea. Which I don't even understand that, because if you're a floor trader, why would you want more restrictions on your trading? I don't understand that one. But this is an important one. I'm a vendor who does not pay for booths. This is a good idea. So 8 vendors feel that this is a good idea for that topic, that type of selection. Next one is, I'm a vendor who pays for booths. This is a good idea. 6 people. And I'm a vendor who does not pay for booths. Just a bad idea. Now, the main highlight here that I think of here is the vendors who pay for booths is a bad idea is 21 people. For the people that vendors who pay for booths, that is a good idea, it's only 6. So about a 33% difference. But you also have 8 vendors who don't pay for booths who thinks it's a good idea. So technically you have 14 people who are vendors who believe it's a good idea. So that's more than half. Now, obviously, this has been posted on a Facebook group, I think the High-End Magic group, and it really it has a ton of Facebook group followers there. And I was speaking to quite a bit of floor traders, and I spoke to some where, this whole thing stems around this recent announcement by Channel Fireball Events, and I want to read what they wrote because I want you guys to read figure out the wording here on your own. All right, so they gave this out to vendors, and I myself am vending in 2018 at Grand Prix Las Vegas with Rudy from Alpha Investments. We'll be there again. I got this message, but they basically said that there's been a lot of complaints over the years regarding backpack dealers who are effectively value trading, and there's been a lot of issues with that. So they released this statement publicly. Everyone is welcome to trade cards with the goal of building decks and collecting their favorite cards. Trading for the primary purpose of gaining value or earning a profit is restricted to those who have purchased a vendor booth for the event. Buying and selling cards with anyone other than the official vendors is strictly prohibited. The enforcement of all event policies is at the sole discretion of the CFB Channel Fireball Events staff. All right, so sole discretion. Obviously, guys, you guys are probably thinking, well, Dan, you're a vendor. Don't you have an opinion on this? You're probably siding with the vendors. Honestly, I'm pretty neutral on this topic. I haven't really figured out where I would side with the issue, so I'm kind of going it through with you guys. So I do want to hear your guys' opinions in the comments below. As you know, I'm not just a vendor, though. I'm also a community member who goes to Grand Prix and plays. And I don't remember a time where I've ever opened up a trade binder and just started doing trading deals with people. I find that kind of boring, honestly. I think my main objective of going to Grand Prix is to play, also do videos, speak to clients in terms of people that are at the shows who really enjoy Magic, community members. And I also enjoy talking to the players. As you know, I take a ton of pictures. But another thing I do is I buy stuff from the vendors. I mean, I released a video with grayogre.com. Ben there did a video about his business briefly, about what he buys and sells and how that experience goes. I buy from basically everybody. MTG Deals, Haruya, I got that name wrong, but the big Japanese company. I've done business with just about everybody. I think that it's very important to understand that if you see me at a Grand Prix, you will know what the answer will be. So if you ask me if you want to do a deal, if you want to do business, I'm just going to tell you, hey, guys, I'm here to, I'm not a vendor at the event. If you want to buy and sell, you can buy it from the vendors, here, right? They have plenty of cards. Now, obviously, if you guys, use some common sense, you can find me at myvintagemagic.com. You can send me an email, Facebook, whatever, and that's different. That's conversation, that is not at the GP. But I'm not going to talk about it and do business at the GP. So it's a unique type of thing. I understand where the vendors are and what they're going through, but I also understand where the floor traders stand. So I wanted to get a floor trader's perspective, so I spoke to some people, and I'm not going to obviously reveal their names, but I want to give you guys some feedback on what they thought. So this is very interesting, actually. I think the most important thing is let's define what a floor trader is. I think people, according to Channel Fireball, their events, they're saying a floor trader is anybody that trades for value. Well, what does that mean? Monetary value, I assume, right? We have to make a lot of assumptions in this video because this statement they make is very broad, and they do this, I think, because it allows them to have full authority, especially that last statement. The enforcement of all event policy is at the sole discretion of Channel Fireball event staff. So basically, if they see something or they see something they don't like, they have the right to let you out. And just check up on this. This is a private event. This is not a public forum. This is not something where, you are, when you walk into an event, there's that big sign that has all the policy and guidelines. I think there's obviously basic stuff like don't bring weapons, you will be recorded possibly, treat people, with respect. So there's lots of different guidelines that you sign up for by walking into the event. Now, this policy of trading and being a backpack dealer is the same thing. I'm sure they'll have this in writing as you walk in. And so the question remains, what is considered value trading? If you're trading, for example, I don't know, like a limited underground sea, and you value it at $700. And then someone has a bunch of alpha, common, and uncommon cards or old school cards that you need for your deck. And but those cards end up becoming like $800, $1,000. Are you considered a floor trader by trading? Well, according to their definition, they said that if you're building decks or collecting your favorite cards, that's okay. But if this is a key word, primary purpose is to gain or earn profit is restricted. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was here to tell you, anybody that trades cards, I think your purpose is to gain value, right? Is to get the better end of the stick or get the cards that you want. But if your primary purpose, if the reason why you're going to the Grand Prix is to trade and to make profit, then I think this is where the problem is. I think there are bad apples who go out there and basically set up shop, and I think you guys know who you are, but if you go to a Grand Prix, if you haven't done this already, just take a look at people with binders full of cards. And I'm not just saying people who walk around with suitcases. I'm talking about people that have binders of cards, just sitting around occupying a lot of space. And what they're doing is they're basically talking about deals they want to trade. And, basically, floor trading, right? And Channel Fireball is obviously, I can see this from a vendor perspective. If you're paying about $8,000 for a standard size booth now to up to $12,000 or more, I think you're going to be a little upset as a vendor, because what's going to happen is you're feeling like, hey, those people that are at the show could be selling and trading with the vendors. Now, the floor trader perspective is this, is that they think, and they've spoken to many vendors about this, and I think that's why you see the Facebook post about there's 21 vendors that actually side with this, that they don't like this policy, is that it actually does a negative impact on their business. What? How can it do a negative impact on their business if the floor traders aren't taking away business, Dan? Well, by talking to some floor traders, apparently what's going on is that there's people who are wanting to trade with people that are not the vendors for a multitude of reasons. One of the reasons is they don't want to wait in the damn line. I don't know if you've seen this before, but there are tons of people who are tired of waiting in the line at the vendors. I totally understand. I've been waiting. I've been on both, two sides of the coin. I've been so busy buying cards that I've had to tell people to come in different slots of time, set appointments. I've had the other side of the coin where I was selling or buying cards from people and I would have to wait in line. And it's a bad experience. It results in a poor experience, and people rather deal with individuals on the floor than the vendors who don't have the manpower. Also, vendors sometimes don't give enough money. They don't give enough value to the people that are trading. So obviously, the floor traders may give better value or cards. Another thing is that the big thing here I was told was a lot of times floor traders get cards that vendors won't even want, and then essentially what happens is that floor traders end up trading and basically filtering the cards, like funneling the cards like through like an hourglass. Basically, the way I look at it is you're filtering the cards so you can the floor traders are selling those cards to the vendors and essentially getting cash or trade store credit, and then the vendors get the quality, the value that they need, versus dealing with a lot of volume, smaller collectors and players who essentially don't want to go through the vendors sometimes. So this entire vendor, this entire floor trader dynamic is actually fairly interesting to me, because I didn't really understand it until after speaking to some people about it, and it makes a lot of sense. I hope I'm explaining it correctly, but yeah, I guess when you see 21 people on Facebook who are vendors who are saying it's okay to for this to they're not okay for this thing to happen. I kind of see from their standpoint that now what's probably going to happen is there might be lessen, obviously, floor traders who come to the Grand Prix, and then in turn you'll have less quality product going to the vendors, or you may just have vendors lose business because the floor traders who would normally sell to the vendors won't do it at all. It's kind of interesting. Now, this also brings in the topic, how is Channel Fireball Events going to actually monitor this? How are they going to determine who is a floor trader, who is a player who just wants to, like it says, trade and cards for the goal of building decks, and they're collecting their stuff? I mean, how exactly are you going to monitor this? Are you going to have a section of the Grand Prix that says trading? I just don't understand how this is going to work. I'm actually very intrigued to get some clarification, because I don't understand how that works. There's some conspiracy theories about this, and one of the theories that came out about this is, why is this happening? There's also a lot of negativity with Channel Fireball being the exclusive vendor for Magic for 2018. And there's all this negativity about, hey, there's, Channel Fireball is a monopoly. They're basically taking over the world. They raised the rates, and now they're changing the trader rules. Why are they doing this? And I talked to some people about this, and one of the theories that people had was they're trying to squeeze the smaller vendors out and charge vendors more so they can have less vendors. Therefore, also allowing the bigger vendors to get more value, better cards. Now, obviously, with Channel Fireball being like the exclusive vendor, also a big vendor, it gives them the opportunity to buy and sell more cards. I don't know about this theory altogether. I mean, it was kind of like, well, I see your point, but why, for Channel Fireball, their goal is to get more vendors and more in the room so they can basically charge more for the table. They can get more revenues for the tables and the space that they're renting out. Why would they want to have less vendors? But I guess I do see something where they did increase the rates for 2018. If this is going to continue on being a trend, having less vendors, but more value for the vendors in the sense that there's more product and cards and buyers, but for the lessened amount of vendors, and then you're eliminating some of the floor traders, it does produce more value for the higher cost. It may justify a higher cost because now they're having less vendors. I am actually in support of less vendors in the sense that I feel like sometimes there's too many vendors. It's almost overwhelming, in some standpoint. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think having too many vendors at a show is annoying? I mean, or is it a good thing? Or do you like it? Do you not like it? I personally, I like it sometimes, but I actually don't because there's, no offense. Sometimes you go to some vendors and I feel like some of the card, and I'm talking about it not as a vendor, but as a person buying cards. I feel like there's some vendors who do a really great job on their customer service and their quality of their display and then doing business with them. Some vendors are just very difficult to do business with, and it's difficult to actually make deals happen and find what you want. So, and I say that about my, I also will say that one of the things I say about myself is that I want to keep improving the way I do my business. So if you guys have suggestions on how to do things a little differently for us at our shows, let me know. It's difficult because I sell more of the wide range of high-end cards and specific range of years of cards, like older cards. So I don't have the interest of having, I know a lot of people want foils and probably have some modern cards and standard cards. It's never going to happen. My company is VintageMagic.com, and we only sell eternal cards. So, I need to, obviously we need to kind of figure out maybe what's the best way to attract people to the booth. And that's also another topic later on. But, as a vendor myself, I find it very intriguing because I want there to be less vendors, because obviously with less vendors you get more, there's less, basically there's less choice for people to sell their cards. And if we offer more money, you're not shopping around to 35 different people versus only 12 people. You don't get tired as a person selling a collection and being like, yeah, I've gone to like 10 of them and I'm tired of getting quotes. With less vendors, you could potentially get a higher chance of getting the collection, especially if you actually get the face time with the collector. Another thing I noticed, speaking to floor traders, is that they said that the Grand Prix have slowed down over the years. And this is something that's very interesting, is that Grand Prix attendance, I think for the most part, I don't know the exact numbers, but I could feel that they've gone down. in terms of attendance, but also in terms of action. I think floor traders see it the most because I think they're always going to vendors trying to get cash or trade, and a lot of vendors want to give trade and store credit, but they're not willing to give cash for the value that they want for the floor traders. So this becomes a dilemma because it's almost as if now you're restricting the floor traders to come. On top of that, you also have the vendors themselves don't really carry as much cash, and they're trying to obviously cherry pick the best value things to buy. Another comment to me was that for floor traders is that EDH and Commander type of cards are really, really hot. And old school Magic cards are very popular. But everything else is pretty much down. Foils, legacy cards, some of the legacy staples. Obviously you're going to see people that want a Snapcaster here and there. Standard cards are down big time. It's just the market itself is already, the secondary market is very, very fragile itself in that type of world because they sell such a wide range. Now, guys, we talk a lot about reserve list cards, and this is one area that's growing. But I'm talking about the Grand Prix circuit where a lot of you have a lot of standard and you have a lot of modern type of cards. You don't see a lot of value going around anymore, and a lot of growth in that market. So that's what I'm getting the feedback from the floor traders. And obviously the margins are being cut big time because if you are basically floor trading, your goal is to get margin either in trade or in cash. And if the vendors don't have enough cash to give you for the cards that you've traded, and then in turn, they're strictening the rule, they're making the rules more strict, it makes it very difficult to be a floor trader itself. So it almost seems like, I almost feel like floor trader, the idea of being a floor trader, the days may be numbered. I don't know if it's going to be, it's not going to be an easy way to go as it used to be, not as flexible, Especially if they start banning people, they start making public noise about this. One of the questions I posed to some of the floor traders people and in general is that what will happen if you get kicked out or banned or something like that? How are you going to deal with this? And for the most part, I think people are just willing to fight it. They're willing to just, try. They'll still show up. And if they somehow get talked to or whatnot, they're just going to fight it as much as they can. And some people, are pretty amped up about this, are pretty upset to a point where they're going to have to drag my ass out. Well, the thing is, that's kind of scary in the sense that when you have this, it just brings a lot of negativity to the community. Now you have a situation where Channel Fireball is trying to help, give value to the vendors. But if the floor trader who's getting kicked out or banned or whatever isn't willing to abide by the rules, I kind of feel like it's not fair, right? It's not fair to the community itself. It causes a lot of chaos and unnecessary negativity. But I think, it's interesting is that with these, like I said earlier in my video, there are 21 vendors who pay for boosts that said it's a bad idea for this to happen. To give more, it's weird. It's like, don't you want to have more opportunity to buy and sell cards? If you have less floor traders, wouldn't that give you more opportunities? I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic we have here. All right, so guys, I've been talking a lot about this. I hope you guys, are still with me on the video. It's a lot of information. What do you guys think? Do you think it's, imagine if you're a vendor and you've paid $8,000 or whatever the heck it is, and plus all the travel, all the time, it's going to cost you well over $10,000 to have a table at a Grand Prix. How would you feel if floor traders are out there trading and potentially, getting deals that you're not? Or do you think that they're helpful by filtering some of the junk cards and stuff, and they're going to do business and try to sell them to you and give you some of the better quality stuff or find stuff that you need and value that you may need? Or do you think it's better for the community to just have the floor traders gone completely? All right, guys, thanks again for watching. Please, again, hit subscribe, leave a comment below. It's a very important topic. Honestly, I don't even know where to begin. I wrote a ton of notes, and I don't know how I think about it all, because I'm a vendor, but I also I'm not a floor trader, but I buy cards from vendors, and I also observe these floor traders. I just don't know. I'll probably do a follow-up video later on, and just kind of as I put my thoughts together. All right, guys, have a great week. Talk to you soon.